how do you build a relationship without giving too much and losing yourself?
They live in a society that heavily militates against relationship and communities.
Build a relationship, you have to know who you are as an individual.
You lose yourself in a relationship. Like,
I think
you
you
change your personality.
Automatically afraid of that idea of losing yourself, so they work really hard to stay apart, which then prevents them from giving enough to make the relationship work. And then there are people who go the other direction. The guy who's giving too much. There's an assumption that one person is supposed to do certain things.
You may say something, articulate it, but then we follow the same old patterns because it's so deeply embedded in us in an unconscious way.
Yeah.
That's what's scary too. Like there's definitely paths are charted, so it takes a lot of work and awareness of who we, getting back to this question of who we really are. But that also means knowing the society within which we live, because we are bound to be affected by it. It's impossible not to be affected by it.
This is how many people can actually ask people out on a date. College students.
Yeah.
Struggle sometimes to get you a book.
Yeah.
Never mind.
A lunch date is a trip to Jasmine.
You know.
Using much money.
There's women out there that think that guys should pay for everything.
Sometimes I want to be the one to treat you out. Should your spouse be your best friend?
Besides having a love relationship, you should also have that friendship.
Should you build a friendship before you build a relationship?
You know, my grandmother used to put it very crudely. She would say after you get all old and wrinkly and you can't do those things anymore, all there is to do is talk. You have to have more than physical attraction to get through those kinds of hurdles with somebody. To work out things like buying and owning a home. To work out things like, having children and the things you have to do with children. To go through a divorce.
You and your spouse have the same friends. They go through their problems. They always expect you to choose a side.
Every time they have a breakup or an argument, they both text. It's hard because I have a friendship with both of them, and it's just like, I'm in the middle of this. What do I do?
but how would you go about that if your ex is still in the picture because they're all friends and they were friends first?
Your ex is in a room or whatever, you should be able to sit there and say hi to him and how are you doing?
It depends on the situation, how they broke up and what happened in their past and,
But I think it's still a part of growing up. Like, if you don't want to speak to them, you don't have to speak to them. But don't let that interrupt who you are as a person.
I feel like you can't always end a relationship and be friends with somebody after. Like, it just doesn't work that way.
If you care for a person, you should be able to be friends with that person.
There comes a time when you're like, I'll always be there for you.
And
then,
like, let's say
boom,
situation,
the person disappears and you just never talk. And then once in a while, hey, how are you? That's like the conversation.
How do you feel about now, not necessarily making this about what you feel, but carrying out that message to educate others? It's your job to share with them alternative ways of thinking. Just giving the opportunity for the expert to kind of throw out what are the kinds of things that he hears about and deals with. There might be people in the audience who identify with some of the issues, and then they can kind of ask more about it as it goes. So it starts from the point of just us learning what are the unique issues.
By putting it into pop culture.
Spread love.
Communication is the key to everything. Accepting difference, embrace diversity.
Accepting the differences that comes with America and everything else.